Hey, this is Carl with New Septic. I'm going to design a mound system today, so I thought I would just share that with everyone. So I'm going to navigate to landplan.io, going to log in, and I've already logged in multiple times, so should have my info. And I'm going to create a new project, and I'll pull up this drawing that the builder has shared with me. So they want a house, and it's got some dimensions here. It's got the property address, and it's got a parcel ID. So this is in US. I'm going to search for the parcel, and it's in Ohio, and we're going to do Lorain County. Oh, and I'm going to search for that parcel. It was 08000. Let's see. 82 and 026. Okay, search for that. And we're hitting the database. We have pretty good coverage. Okay, so we found the parcel. So I'll go ahead and select that. And we can change some of this information here. I'll cut down the address. Let me look at this image again. So 9671 Gore Orphanage, that looks good. And the Berkey, John, Dennis, and Laura Lee. Let's see. So the new owners look to be Adam and Sarah McCann. So I'll go ahead and update that. Adam and Sarah McCann. Let me see that again. Okay. All right, so I hit next. And we have some basic info here about the site. The builder said it's a 3-bedroom house, and he actually shared with me this soil test. So I'm going to take a look at this. So the soil evaluator had noted that there's silt loam, and the depth to limiting condition is pretty shallow, 4.5 on test B and 4 on, so 4 inches of usable soil on this site. Pretty terrible soil, and basically for Lorain County, they're going to require a UV light and an aerator for this. So I'm going to go ahead and design this with a 2.7 loading rate. And that's the default here, so I'll go ahead and say that, and then I'm going to set this equal to 4 inches of perch seasonal water, create project, and go to map. So we got the default we set up with 50-foot buffers and 10-foot isolation around the parcel, and it looks like we'll just take some spot measurements of the parcel here. So it looks like the back parcel line is 298.6 according to the builder. So let's do the measure tool. We'll do snaps, and we'll snap to the parcel line, save that, snap over here. So we got 298.6, looks pretty good to me. And I'll just start drawing the house now. So actually, let's set up the test hole locations. So let me check this out again. Okay, the soil evaluator, they have a map here. So soil site A is over here. Soil site B is down there. Okay. So I'll click the move edit tool and select the soil test and move it up to where approximately it is. Update the soil location. Let me just select this now with the select tool. All right, so that's a little bit of an issue. All right, let me add soil test B, and it's let's do 2.7, and we'll do, I think this one was, soil site B was 4.5 to the limiting condition. It doesn't really matter, but okay. All right, so now we got that. We can go ahead and draw a building. So let me just select the building with flow, and I'm going to select snap guides, and the snap guides will let me draw this to 90-degree angles. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of sketch this out. So the snap guides are providing a framework for 90-degree angles. So I'm just kind of sketching this out just as a rough sketch here, because actually we don't have any dimensions really on here except the overall dimensions of the building. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of finish this here. Looks like they got a little porch there. And okay, so roughly let's see what that looks like. So we have some default settings here. This is a 3-bedroom, 360 gallon per day flow rate. You can change that if you want, but looks good. So here we have the building, and it's got an 82-foot by 60-foot footprint. So let's go ahead and just put some measurements on here. 80, so it looks pretty good with that. And let's see how we are down here. Looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and click the rotate tool, select the feature, and just go ahead and rotate it to where it needs to go. And I'll select the select and the move this here. And see, we got some dimensions from the back. We're 191.21. So I'll take the measure tool, and we're already snapping to the parcel lines. So I'll click once, and then I'm going to hit the tab key, and then this will let me type in the exact dimension, 191.21, and then I'm going to put 270 for directly to the west on the map. So this is an azimuth, so 0 would be directly north, 90 degrees would be to the east, 180 would be to the south, and 270 would be, so it's a 360 degree. Oh. So go ahead and hit tab. You can hold shift and tab to move back, and then tab to move forward in this form. So the tab key is kind of how you operate this, and then if you hover over the add point and finish drawing, you just hit enter. So that will finish that. So we're at 191.21, so let's go ahead and move up the house there. So that looks good, and let's get a side dimension here, 136.60. All right, 136.60, and I'm going to do just 180 straight down. And let's move this again. All right, and let's move this down. Let me make sure I got this right here. So to the back, farthest back of the house, and to the farthest to the left of the house, we got those 2 dimensions here, and it looks pretty good. Looks like we're centered, and it looks like the mound system, the builder wants this on the southwest side. So we'll go ahead and make that happen. So let's put a sewer main coming out the side here. Let's do pipe tool, sewer main. Let's just come out 20 feet. And looks good. So we got that 20 feet. And let's do some tanks. You can click on the treatment train tool and so just kind of click right on the sewer main end. So the treatment train tool, we have just a bunch of treatment trains that we've loaded up here for myself. You can build your own, or you can contact us to help you build these. But let's build a new one here. I'm going to clear this, and I'm going to do a treatment system. So we have all the treatment tanks in the database here, and we've broken this down by treatment level and the model and the manufacturer name. So I'm going to go ahead and do a Singulaire, Norweco Singulaire, and I want that for the unrestricted spray, which is less than 20 fecal coliform. And click on that, and it'll bring up all the components that are required for that level of treatment. Add those, and I'm going to add a dose tank. So I'm going to type in Mac Industries, and I'll select a 1,000 gallon tank there. So draw that. That's going to draw that with the azimuth of the sewer main. So if you want to just select the move icon, you can, move that right up to where you want it to go. So it will draw the tanks in order that you have added them on your treatment train. So let's go ahead and select the dose tank, and we have all the details for the dose tank on this side profile. So I'm going to select time dosing, and I'm going to do a dose volume of 4 doses per day, 90 gallons. So that's what we can go with there. And so next, probably save the map here. You can click Control S, or you can click this save icon. I'm going to select the trench tool, and I'm just going to, so you can always check the dimensions of the system by clicking on that check system options button. So for a mound system, we're going to need sand fill 14 inches, and we're going to need 133.3 feet on contour. So I'm going to select the trench tool, and we'll just put so just analyzing the land. So the contour is flowing this way, and the back contour line is flowing this way. So somewhere along this line, we need a system to be put there. So we'll do trench tool, and we'll just kind of come off the back, and we'll just do 134 roughly. So we got this kind of L-shaped mound in the back, kind of optimizing the owner's space here. And what we'll do is we'll go ahead and select the contour system tool, and this is based on the trench line that we just drew. So it's asking us what type of system we want to put in here. We're going to do a mound system. Click on that. And just some validation checks here. We're using soil test B, and our VSD is 18 inches, estimated required in situ. And then we can click on side profile. I'm going to go ahead and select gravel and do 8 inches of gravel, and we got 14 inches to the sand underneath here. So, and we default to the minimum trench length, so I'm going to change that. And everything else looks pretty good. You can increase the diameter, the orifice, pipe size, etc. But everything looks good, so I'll draw the system. That will draw it out here, and we have a connection point in the center, so this is going to be a center feed. So I'm going to draw my force main now. So select force main from the pipe tool, click on this, and I'll connect to the backside. All right, so we have our details for our force main. It looks like 240 foot, so I'm just going to round that up to 240. And next we need a replacement area. So I'm going to do the select tool. Actually, you can just right click over top of the mound, and you can do distribution bed. That's what the mound is, and we're going to copy that feature, and we're going to paste that into a replacement area. So now we have this generic replacement area shape. I'll click the move button, and I'm going to move that in this spot here. Sometimes it's a little finicky, so if you zoom in, it should be okay. But hit escape if you want to escape out of any tool or selection. You can hit the escape key. So now I'm going to draw a driveway. So it looks like driveway's coming in on the left side of the house, the north side. So I'm going to click the hardscape tool, snap to the building with flow. So come down here and snap to that, snap to that. Double click to end a feature, escape out to get rid of any tool selection. And I'm going to select the water well. Let's just draw a water well right there and escape, right click, and I'm going to go to the water well feature and I'm going to create a buffer. So I'm going to create a 50-foot water well isolation 50 foot. Generate that, and it'll give me that buffer. Everything looks good. Looks like I got everything on the map that would be a completed sewage system drawing. You can add a benchmark here. You know, we could just do like benchmark top of stake. And what I'm going to do is go to print view. So with print view, I'm going to select, actually do landscape for this one. And I'm just going to start detailing the, or moving around these labels. So what I'm going to do is just click on this, hardscape pops up, and I'm going to do proposed driveway. And we're going to try and get these a little bit better, but for the meantime, they're just, you just have to kind of edit these. So proposed 3-bedroom dwelling, and I'm going to align this to the left. So it's going to, the center point there is where the alignment is going to be on the left hand side, and I'm going to go ahead and spin this, and I'm going to move this. I'm going to move this out here. So we're going to, just like that, we're going to start moving around these labels, and I'm going to do proposed water well. Align that to the right, and I'm going to shift that back, and I'll do the isolation. I'll still align that to the right, and I'll shift this down. And for the tanks, I'll select the first tank here. We can kind of rename all these just to make them shorter. So you can see as I'm clicking the XY offsets and stuff, you can see the labels start to move on the map. So it's a kind of a good way to go and check that. So, all right, I got that. And then I'll do this dose tank. I'm going to put that right to line, and I'm going to probably shift this down, move this back, move this down. And anytime that you have a feature that's kind of over top of a feature, you can put a background on it. You can just do a white background. So by clicking on this little dropper, you can select the color, just top left is the white, and then you can see it's got a kind of a black white background with that. So it's kind of handy to just make your features pop a little bit. All right, so just kind of go through and finish this off. And anytime you have a feature with like a ton of features on top of each other, you can actually come over here and the edit labels section, and you can actually access the labels that way. Like you can just come in and turn off some of these just by clicking on the laterals and, you know, trench. It's just an easy way to access the labels as well. So, all right, so we got this. We can just title this, keep that the same, and I'm going to do a white background on this. So everything looks pretty good. Let's do the force main. So with the line features, there's two methods. There's a line placement or a point placement. So if you select the text to be placed on the line, it's going to draw the text like right on the line. So typically you probably want to just have a little more control over it. So, you know, you could just kind of put it to point, and I think we did 240 foot force main. All right, so, and you can see the sewer main doesn't have the label popping, and that's because it's on line placement. So if you select point, it'll pop up because there's not enough space to write it on the line. So, and you could just do 20-foot sewer main. You could do like clean out to grade and left align that. Offset that a little bit. So other than that, looks good. We got the legend over here. We can trim that down if we want to. We can go to legend items, and let's put the parcel lines and 10-foot buffer on there, and we'll do the contour intervals, and let's just take off the tanks and stuff like that, the measure lengths, the force main, lateral, sewer main, trench, and let's take off the, yeah, so looks pretty good. And we got the north arrow, and if you want to select the scale, do 1 inch equals 50. It looks like a pretty good map here. So we do provide a default title up here, so we could start editing that. I could just do, and then put the date. All right, so save this, and I'm going to print this, and going to download this, and let's just, I always thought this street was kind of a weird street name, Gore Orphanage. So map 11 to 22, and I'm gonna get X out of this, X out of this. So now we're gonna go to the calculator, and the calculator is gonna take everything we've drawn up to this point, and it's gonna put that data into the calculator. So it's gonna put the lengths and all that stuff, and we'll go to the calculator options, and it's got our system description, flow rate, soil stuff, all that stuff right there. So I'm going to go into the trench, looks good, our center trench there. Elevations, I'm going to go ahead and check our inverts. So let's get the sewer invert, and let me put that in here, and I'm going to reduce that a little bit. And I'll take the pretreatment component invert, and I'll put that into the inlet of the next tank, or the UV light. So I'll reduce that a little bit, and I'm going to take the outlet there, and I'm going to reduce that a little bit as well. So this is all adjusted based on the tank dimensions over here. So if you have a different tank dimensions, you can change that there. So I'll go ahead and check the mound, looks good. And I'm gonna go ahead and check the pressure network, center feed. We're doing 67-foot laterals. So we got 2 laterals here. And so we're right on this 2-foot pressure loss. Let's go ahead and add a fitting. Let's see. Okay, so we'll add a fitting. We'll go ahead and add gate valves. So you can save that, and it asks us if we want to add that to all the laterals. So yes. So we got gate valve in there. Let's close this up. Let's go to the force main, 240-foot, 2-inch diameter. We could probably move this down to 1.5 inches and save some money on that. And it looks like our total dynamic head is 23. Our friction loss is 8 feet with this 1.5 inches if we want to. So it's giving us a little bit of leeway there. So maybe we can check it out. We can see what's going on. But let's add some fittings. Let's go ahead and add 3 90s to get out of the tank, a T to go up, And let's go ahead and add a quick disconnect. Save that. Okay, anytime you make a change in the pressure network, it's going to give you this little icon saying the pump needs updated. So go ahead and click on that. It's going to recheck our pump. It looks like we're meeting the specs here for 24.7 flow rate and 24.2 total dynamic head. And that puts us right here on this pump curve for a Champion. And it looks good to me. Time dosing values all look pretty good. So go ahead and check this. Okay, so we got just a little bit below our 2 foot per second velocity, but actually if you round up that, it will take this above 2 foot. So I think we're good there. So let's attach the map. Let's go to Gore Orphanage, attach this map. So that's coming in here. Takes a second here to load. So we got that. And we got our pages that we want in the report. Go to the validation, generate report. This takes a few seconds here to load up. Okay, so we got our first page. We got all our construction details. And we have our cross-section sheet for the mound. And we have our hydraulic profile with our dimensions here on the elevations. We got our dosing details page, and we have our calculations page, and finally our map. So everything looks good. I'm going to go ahead and download this and save it to 9671 Gore Orphanage. And I'm going to do mound plan 11 to 22. Save that. And that looks good to me. I'm going to go ahead and close this out, and that was how I would design a mound system for this property. And obviously, you know, we're going to go out and stake this off, and to do that, I'm going to export these GPS points. So I'm going to take the parcel lines and 10-foot buffer, and I'm going to do the sewer main and the trench line, the distribution trench, and elevation points. So that is going to be pretty much all I need, and I'll put the replacement area on there too, just so I can draw, I'll put some stakes and caution tape around this whole area, so get the extent of that. So I'm going to download this, and this will download to a CSV file, comma separated value file, that I can send to my phone. And I have a GPS unit that has 2 centimeter level accuracy horizontal, and I can go ahead and stake this off on site, or you could send this CSV file to your surveyor, and your surveyor could stake this off as well. So pretty handy, and this is exported in the coordinate reference system that's appropriate for NAD 83, the North American Datum 83, and that is what's going on here. So the replacement area is a little bit heavy. The more features that you add to export here will give you take a little bit extra time. So okay, so we got that downloaded, and we can check this out. Check this out in Excel. So our coordinates here, we got our name for the point, and we got our easting, northing, and elevation at that point. So send that to us ourselves for their phone, and we'll be field ready. So this is a pretty just straightforward. I kind of didn't explain a lot, so if you want a more detailed explanation, just go ahead and contact us and contact me, and I'll hook you up. So thank you, and thanks for watching.